deciding factor in your consciousness, therefore in your entire world of experience. An oldie but a goodie from Raymond Charles Barker, who is the author of The Power of Decision, the very first book I read when I ventured onto my spiritual journey intentionally. Who here is okay with that statement? Like, just you don't have to just because everyone's putting up their hands, but who here really, truly believes that? I saw some hands go up. I see some nodding heads. But you know what? It's okay if you're like, well, I don't really know, because that's one of the reasons we come together, right? Is to remember how powerful we are, how creative we are, that the way that we use our mind and the way we open our heart is how we end up experiencing life. It's all up to us. Nobody is pulling any kind of puppet strings. There are no puppet strings. So what I want to talk about today is, and I've mentioned this before, Glenn and I are part of a group that stems from the Practical Prosperity course that we took way back in February. And the course was based on Maria Nemeth's book, The Energy of Money. And it was definitely about money and prosperity consciousness and navigating the different issues that we all have with money. But it also applies to everything in life, because the way that Maria Nemeth says it, the way you do money is the way you do life. And so you clean up your money situation, then chances are the rest of your life starts to fall into place, because it's all about consciousness, okay? And the choices that we're making because of the level of consciousness that we're vibrating at. So Glenn and I were in this group, and this course was happening on Wednesday evenings. And so we couldn't attend because we're here at Elevate on Wednesdays. So our friend, who was the facilitator, the teacher, very graciously decided to have a Monday night discussion group so that Glenn and I could actually have something live and not just watch the recordings and not participate with other people in the class. So this Monday group, there are 5 of us that have been in this group, and we are still going every single week. We've changed to Tuesdays now because Glenn and I, well, actually all of us in that group are in another class with Dr. James, my teacher from Los Angeles. But anyway, this group is now meeting on Tuesdays, and last week, what I brought to the group was that I very, very viscerally noticed an energy leak in my experience. In my office, which is pretty tidy, along the wall, one of the walls, and then around the corner, there are little piles of paper that are all sort of like one thing. And I put them there because I find I don't have enough time to go to the closet, open the door, lift the lid on my banker's box, try to find the file folder and stick it in, right? But every time I go past these, I think about them. And so it's an energy leak, right? It's just, it's energy that's just, going out there because I'm like, these things are on the floor, right? So I just thought, I looked at them this time and I'm like, okay, you know what? I'm going to take 5 minutes every day and I'm going to just one pile. I'm going to go and I'm put it away, because it's not even a bunch of different things. It's just one thing that needs to go in a file folder in the banker's box. And so I shared this with the group, and then one of the other gals who's in the group, who's been talking about her insane office and the state of affairs in her office and how it drives her crazy and how she can't even go in there without starting to feel physically ill, was talking about her office again. And this has been going on since February, so clearly the office state is, before February. So at one point I just said, hey, pick up your computer and show us your office. She's like, oh, no, I can't show it. It's so embarrassing. It's horrible. I couldn't possibly. I want to take a before picture, and then when it's, clean, I want to show you guys the before and after. I'm like, look at all the energy that is leaking out of you right now. Look at how much is whirling and swirling in your mind that could go towards something else. Just show us. Just show us. So she's like, okay. So she lifted it up, turned it around, and then, at first we're like, that's not that bad. And then we're like, whoa. Okay, all right, we get it. But the thing is, she showed us, the world didn't collapse, her head didn't explode, we still love her, and now there's this incredible weight that's been lifted off, and that energy leak plugged, okay? Just her thinking about all of the anxiety and everything that came along with that. So by the end of the 1 hour time that we spent together, I said, you know what? Because I have this thing going on, and because you have your office, what I'm going to do tomorrow, pick up your phone right now, put this in your phone, I'm calling you. Let's pick a time, I'm calling you, we're going to set a 5-minute timer, and both of us are going to go about our tasks in our office doing that one thing, right? She's like, okay, great. So today was day 5. Okay, and so the first day was like, okay, first day, yeah, we're gonna do this. This is great, fantastic. Get on the phone. We're both super excited. Okay, we go through one pile, did it, great pictures, send it to the group so that people can see the progress. And then, throughout the day, I'm like, oh my God, I got to do this again tomorrow. And so the next morning, I'm like, okay, 7, and it was hard for some reason. Like I have all this stuff that I do in my morning routine. And it was like, oh, but 7 o'clock, I got to do this because I committed. I committed to someone else. I'm accountable to someone else, not just me. And sometimes, like, that commitment to someone else can be a lot stronger than to ourselves because we don't want to disappoint them. We don't want to look bad. Oh my gosh, what will they think if I don't show up, if I don't do what I said I was going to do? Which really says a lot if we don't do the same thing for ourselves, right? But anyway, so 7 o'clock, I chose a pile which had a lot of stuff in it. And I finally finished that pile today. And so as I'm sending the pictures and as I'm working on this pile, what I'm also starting to realize is this isn't about the pile anymore. This is about, I don't want to put any more stuff on the floor. I don't want to create another pile. So I am choosing my actions very carefully. I am making choices more consciously, and it is spilling out into the rest of my life, which is what is happening for everyone, the 3 of us who are doing this little challenge. Now, our group is affectionately known as the Noticing Ninjas, because every week we talk about what is it that we're noticing. And one of the gals, when she wrote an email one time, wrote the no part as K-N-O-W, right? So we're the K-N-O-W to sing Noticing Ninjas. And so when I was putting in my calendar that I have this 5-minute challenge every day, I'm like, I got to call it something. And this acronym came up. No, K-N-O-W, Noticing Ninjas Office Whip Up. Because the first thing was a B word. I can't remember what it was. And I'm like, knob? No, I don't want to have knob as my daily challenge. So it's no. So we have this daily no challenge, and it's clearing things out so that we can, attend to what it is that is ready to come up. So the whole point of this is, can something small make a big difference? And the answer is yes, because a lot of times we choose something or make a decision that seems so insignificant, and yet the impact that it ends up having because of that one small choice can be transformational. So there's this African proverb, if you think you're too small to make a difference, try sleeping in a room with a mosquito. Right? Anyone heard of that one? It's such a good one. So here's a mosquito. They're so small, right? But they can be so powerful if we let them, right? And so ultimately, it's up to us. It's up to us to choose more intentionally, knowing that every single choice can impact our life in huge, huge ways. And so again, I said, this is no longer, it is still about cleaning up the office, but it's not just about that, because the thing is really impacting all of these other aspects of life. And so that takes me to Radiate, which happened here on Friday. It was so beautiful. 10, 12 people maybe in a circle on yoga mats, lights out, little lamps with shawls on them, candles all over the place, beautiful meditation music. There was an altar in the middle, and Joanne Huco, who was the facilitator, invited everyone to bring something to put on that altar, something that was personal. That's not my thing. I'm not a big crystals person or whatever. Mine is really about sort of just like experiencing rather than having a physical thing that I focus my energy on. But everyone, except for one gentleman who didn't realize that we had to bring something, everyone brought something. And the stories that were shared about the intentionality of why specifically this thing, and as each person shared that story and put it on the altar, what it added to the space and to the experience was so profound. I mean, it connected everyone so beautifully, so sacredly. And then one of the things that we were invited to do is this same thing that we had our meditation with today. This call to action, this invitation by Matt Kahn, which is to breathe in love and breathe out kindness. And that was it. And so during this half-hour meditation, as we were meditating, and eventually Joe was just walking around doing some energy work and clearing on everyone, breathing in love, breathing out kindness. Just that's all I found myself focusing on. Oh, it was so beautiful. And so it just really made me think, one small choice to breathe in love, to breathe out kindness. What kind of difference could that make for our community, for our world, if we just approach life as the love we truly are, and if every time we breathe, we were more intentionally breathing in love and breathing out kindness. So Raymond Charles Barker also writes in that quote, I'll say the first part again, "You are the deciding factor in your consciousness, therefore in your entire world of experience." And then goes on to say, "Know yourself as God knows you. God loves you because God loves itself." And I love that he uses a neutral, not him here. That it's a thing, it's an energy, it's an essential dynamic flow, and we are all that, and it is who and what we are. And so it's up to us, every moment of every day, to choose more intentionally, because we're choosing all the time, right? Whether we're aware of it or not. It's just happening. That's just the way it works. So we need to become more intentional with our choices, because a seemingly small, inconsistent choice can lead to consistent action, which can ultimately lead to not just big change, but transformation. And transformation is lasting. Lasting and ongoing, but it means you're not going to go back to the way things were before. So my question to you is, what one small change can you commit to making every day? 5 minutes, 1 minute, whatever, at the same time. One small change, some kind of energy leak or something that's gnawing or niggling at you in your life. What could you choose to do to plug that energy leak and then be open to seeing how it impacts and ripples out into the rest of your life? That's my question to you. That's my invitation to you. And as you're choosing, I also invite you to breathe in love and breathe out kindness for yourself, and then it ripples out into our community and our world. Thank you, and so it is.